I'm Steve.
I'm Cyndi.
Hi, you two. So just tell me something. Where are you guys right now?
We're in Strawberry. It's a small little burg just north of Payson and Pine, and then on the way to Winslow. So
When you signed up for this, that you had some old wood, barn wood. Some of it was 100 years old, if I remember correctly. And I'm excited about that because that's kind of my thing, is salvaging old wood. You have some barn wood. You have a brand new house. You're going to use some of it in the new house?
we do. We have some stuff that, like you said, is close to 100 years old. And then we've got some stuff that's probably about 15 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can show them to you if you like.
Yeah, let's see them. Yeah, for sure.
How's that? Is that a...
Awesome.
Okay.
So the light's not great. One of them looks almost black and the other one looks gray.
Yeah, this one here with my hand on is about 15 years old, 99 years old.
So let me look at the 99-year-old one. Put the other one away and put it up in the light a little better so I can see the whole board. I'm a huge fan. Yeah, there it is. See, that's Arizona right there. That Arizona and Southern Colorado ages wood beautifully. So I bet there's a huge texture in there where the grains the hard grains stayed up and all the pulp soft wood was washed away.
Yeah, it's really quite rough. It's almost like someone took and drug a wire brush through it and got all soft.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's beautiful color.
Yeah.
Let's see the backside of it. It looks like it's real stable. Wood. Looks like it's good shape.
It's very stable. This
Yeah.
is, inch thick plus material.
That's beautiful.
Not anymore.
You can see the saw curves on it from back when it was milled.
Yep, that was a big
Giant.
point too, because this is the arc.
That is awesome. I love it. So what are you thinking, where and how? One thing I see, your house is brand new. It's not even done all the way yet. And it's very, how do I say this? It's real pristine and crisp and clean and detail oriented. So you're going to bring in some of this natural organic material like barnwood and it'll soften up some things. I like the idea. I love the idea.
Exactly.
Right. We
You
want
hit the
to
nail on the head.
bring a lot of the old and the natural into the house because
Okay. Well, what we had originally thought, and I don't know if you can see it now or not, but there's a slab of alligator juniper here.
Oh, yeah.
This we brought in just for show and tell, kind of check to see the fit and see which side we want exposed this way and that way to the kitchen.
So the barnwood's going to be where?
We were thinking about the 100-year-old stuff underneath.
Gotcha.
And then this stuff of this 15-year-old stuff would be used in a mudroom entry.
Gotcha. So underneath is black. It looks like it's dark underneath there. What's going on?
I had, what little bit I know about it, I had already painted the back of it black so that any seam joints wouldn't show through.
Perfect. Love it. That way you can be a little more organic and free form and you're not worried about making every joint perfect and trying to make it. You want to save some of the character of the old wood and the natural aspect of it, which is imperfections.
Exactly. Yeah. This stuff had a tongue and a lap on it, or there was a tongue one side and a lap on the other.
Gotcha.
It was starting to split off, so I had to rip it down to clean wood.
Gotcha.
In an effort just playing yesterday to see how I could get rid of that really white wood that shows through on a new cut, I used a torch to burn the edge.
Gotcha. That's great.
I may hit it with a little bit of gray stain just to add a little, but
underneath there, a couple of things. One, you're going to have some stools, I'm sure in front of there. That's going to be where you're going to hang out, right? Yeah.
This is where she's going to serve me drinks and I'm going to serve her drinks.
Here's a thought that I have, and something that I've done quite a bit of over the years, is mixing the woods up a little bit so that you're not using just one solid wood and you're not using just like panel, like simple up and down or vertical, and just look like the side of a barn, but actually using it. And one of the things you're talking about, you're going to do some dovetails on the top as accent pieces and make that stronger. I've done it with barnwood here. I've got a picture. Can't really see it that great on there.
Oh, yeah.
There you can kind of see it.
Yeah, interlocking joints.
Yeah, just a little detail like that. And what it is, that's old barnwood right there. And the idea is that I usually mill the wood down in my planer to about 5/8 thick, because one, that makes it softer so that it'll form flatter up against the surface.
So
And you don't care about the backside at all because you're not.
if I understand you, this side would be down and this blade would be the blade side, and
Correct.
I'd make the curve flatter.
Yep.
Okay.
And it gets it flat. Now, one of the things, some of the boards are going to be more cupped than others, the nature of the beast. You can always run a kerf down the back of them about 75% through it, 3/4 of the way through it. And that'll get you where you can get it flat without cracking the front. So,
I like that.
that's a little quick thing, but you don't have to mill it down. I'm just saying, it's if you do have a planer, it's a way to get it down. But then you're only working with little 5/8 pieces, and you can do some dovetail details or some fun stuff like that. Or simply put, you can do, which is also really quick. This is all blow and go as far as assembly. When you have that good backing that you have with the painted OSB, you can do any kind of pattern. Like I do patterns like this. This is a footboard of a bed, but you can see it's just mitered and shot on there. So the idea is that wood that you have, that from the chicken coop, I love that wood, and I think it's really special, and it becomes even more special if you frame it. So if you do 3 panels with a lighter wood frame.
You like a craftsman style?
Correct. And then you're framing that wood and making it even more, and you could do the same thing in the mudroom. You can carry that in both places, and that way you get use of both materials in both spaces.
I like that.
Yeah, because we're gonna put, we have it set up for electricity, so there's gonna be lights underneath here.
Oh, cool. So you'd be able to light it up. That's fantastic. I just feel like if you're feeling brave and you want to do a cool dovetail detail on there, that would be a real nice touch, a real handcrafted kind of thing. And you'll see with that, what I end up doing is I make, instead of making the joints perfect and flat, I actually run a bevel around the dovetail so that it extends. See how it shows it off.
Is that just router?
Yes, it's just run with a router. And it's real fast and easy. And the other cool thing about that is it gives you a lot of forgiveness. So that if your dovetail's not perfect, you've got the mitered joint, you're not trying to hide anything.
I'm about forgiveness.
So that's what I would suggest, is use the 100-year-old wood as framed panels and do maybe 3 vertical ones there and frame it with the lighter wood. And that way they'll kind of pop off and have a little more color. And if you're going to run it through the planer, you can mill it down and thickness. Otherwise, you can have 2 dimensions, and that's great too. Is your panels can actually be raised panels.
Yeah, and if it's an issue, I can take this and use this 12 or 15-year-old stuff as the frame material.
Yes.
I can just shim it if I
to bring it out. But one of the things I do, Steve and Cyndi, is I round over and play with those joints, and I try not to make them perfect, sand them over. And so if you had the 3 panels and they were more proud than the frames, that's part of the look, and you just roll it over so that they're popped out. I want to touch on this. The finish wise, what I end up doing is I'll just use a lacquer, like a deft lacquer or any lacquer based product, because it goes on real nice, real smooth. And what I'll do is I'll sand all that down, put the lacquer on it, and then I use a wax on top of that. So what happens is it basically seals the surface so the wax isn't soaking in. And then I use a colored brie wax. It's called brie wax, spelled BRIWAX. Made in
So for the lacquer, would you use a satin or a matte finish?
I would use, I typically use a semi-gloss, because what it ends up doing is it gives you a refined rustic look. It really cleans up and makes the wood more of an art piece than just rustic old barnwood in the house.
All right, and then how do we attach it to the back?
Underneath there, you've got all the surface in the world, so you're just going to put wood glue on it and go with a headless nailer and shoot it on and be done. And that's why I'm saying it's kind of fun with the joinery and miters. You just build it and shoot it on. They're just puzzle pieces.
Yeah, in the mudroom, I was thinking about putting up some lath, and that way it was standing off the wall. I got something solid to nail to and not trying to find the joists.
Yeah, you can do that, or you can do the same thing, throw a piece of OSB up there and paint it black and do the same thing.
Ooh, that's a good
It just gives you a solid surface to build to. That's exactly how I build all my tabletops, and even that bed that you saw, is I take solid 3/4 ply and then I skin it with the barnwood, and then you've got a super rigid, solid thing. So basically you're doing the same thing I do.
That's a cool idea. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you need to, if one board's fighting you and warping up and it won't go down, you can go in there and drive a screw in there. And now they've got these, I don't know if you're familiar with them, Steve, but they got these headless screws that they're using for decks.
You mean like trim screws?
Yeah, trim screws. And you can drive a couple of those in spots that are fighting you, and they just disappear into the barn when they're done.
Right. Well, there's holes in this anyway. There's nail holes and holes and whatever else. Yeah.
But I wouldn't be afraid of getting a 5-inch orbital on there, sand all that, everything, like make your panels, make all your pieces, sand everything with a 5-inch orbital. I would start with maybe a 150 grit and finish 150 was fine to finish with. I usually finish 180 and just buzz it real quick, because all that what that's going to do is going to clean up the wood, and it's going to give you dimension and depth and show off knots and the raised grain, and all that stuff's going to come alive by sanding.
So let me make sure I understand, Tim. The face of it sanded, or just round over the edges?
No, the whole thing, sand everything. Yeah, get rid of all the splinters, get rid of the roughness, but also what ends up happening is it starts to pop. You start to get all these beautiful colors that start popping out of it as soon as you put the lacquer on there. So if it's just black, dark, and disappeared underneath there, it's solid. It's not. You're not going to get the life out of the wood. You're not going to get to see it. So what you're going to do is you want to leave what I call Mother Nature's fingerprints.
Yes.
Covered with Mother Nature's fingerprints. You want to leave her fingerprints on there. You don't want to sand off her fingerprints, but you do want to have some of that character pop more. So hit it with the sander and then circle.
Nice.
To give Mother Nature a manicure.
Right. Well, plus it has a lot, like you're saying, a lot of color. There's
Nice.
gray, and then there's a really dark, heavy brown, and then there's a lot of gold and kind of a reddish.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the wax that you're going to use afterwards. It has a little patina color to it. It's like a tobacco color. So it'll give you, if you get too light or you get too worried about something, you're going to have this wax that you're going to be able to come back and bring back the darkness to it.
The cool part of this, 18 inches of this end was in the dirt. So this is what water and ice and frozen did. All the sunlight, and then the roof of the barn overhung it this much.
There you go.
Got lighter.
And you can do, Steve, if you're feeling it, again, this is totally your guys' thing, but you could do 2 of those in the middle, long ways, like this, and frame them with the lighter wood, and that's good enough. And just have 2 of them sanded so that you're not trying to make the boards look like they're boards. You want to keep them sanded, and so you go 2 nice, beautiful boards run this way, and then put a frame around it. But basically, you use the newer, lighter wood around, and then the 2 old boards down the middle. Yeah, I mean, you have endless options. This is where you can have some fun and come in here and do a dovetail piece as well. If you want to bring the dovetail down below that you're doing on the tabletop. A terrible drawing. I'm not doing a good job, but you see what I'm saying.
You're fine. I got the idea. It's a cool idea, that dovetail.
Yeah, and again, you're doing it. You cut the dovetails right by hand, and then you lay them on there and you scribe them, and you cut the female part and you drop it in. So you don't have to do either one of them perfect. You just make them match each other, which I'm sure you're familiar with.
Nice.
Okay.
Very nice.
Yeah, I think you're onto something. I love your project.
Well, thanks.
Well, thank you.
And I love the fact that you're bringing old history into the new build.
Here's one of the stains that we're looking at for the juniper.
Oh, love it.
It's just Minwax natural.
Right.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's pretty rich. I'm surprised. One of the ones I use is the Minwax Early American as well. It's a good stain.
Yeah, if I have my choices, I prefer, I'll say alcohol dyes and stuff like that, but Home Depot is all we got up here, and all they carry is Minwax. So
for sure.
I'm
Okay,
assuming
so, yeah.
there's a
So are you going to go all the way around the window with this, or just up to the window, or what's the plan?
The idea was, this is a little proud of the window trim. This is a little proud of the window trim, just in case, based on your suggestions, you thought we'd come up this high. But originally we had thought we would do a frame and then these just be boards in the middle. And that's pretty plain Jane after what you just explained underneath the bar top.
Yep,
And
right.
based
Trip all
on-
over the carpet.
Based on your suggestion, Tim, from the bar area, I will have enough of this wood left that we could actually do the same type of detail in here, and then it brings some continuity in.
I like that a lot. I think it makes sense, and I think the continuity is not a bad thing for that space. And again, that's something where if you accentuate the 100-year-old local boards, it gives them even more value in the sense of if you just nail up all of them up there, then they don't have pop as much. But if you could do something along this line here with that wall.
Yeah.
Then
And I was thinking each one was a seating position almost. That's exactly, yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. I like that. I like that. Both of them.
Cool.
Both ideas really well.
Yeah. No, I think you're onto something, and I think it's not making it any more complicated, especially if you do a solid piece of OSB back there. Then you can put whatever pattern you want, whatever thickness you want, because you're screwing and nailing right to that.
Yep. I think we got a plan, boss.
Cool. Perfect. I love it. I love it. You guys got a great house.
Now, just out of curiosity, would you guys want to see the finished product in about 3 weeks?
Absolutely.
Yes, please.
Yeah, we even like some stills in the middle, or if you're having challenges or whatever, you can put whatever. If you make mistakes, we don't mind seeing those. You drink
Well,
too much
I
bourbon.
lost enough weight to where there's no fear of a plumber's bottom in the picture.
All right. Yeah, we would love to keep updated and see the finished product.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, one of the best ways to share that you do is, if you haven't already, join our Facebook group.
Okay.
And that way we'll share this video to that. And then as you're working on it, the more you can share on there, the more fun it is for all of us.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
and
like
don't be afraid to round over and sand those corners. I mean, all that is going to make it pop more. And you've got allowance in your house. Everything is so clean and new in the house. You can have some live edge, freeform type of feel with this barnwood, and like you have on the juniper. So I think
like it was put together 100 years ago by somebody who didn't have a table saw.
bingo. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Awesome.
Well, it was great meeting both of you.
Yeah.
And thank you for your advice.
Of
Thank
course. That was awesome. All right. Hey.
Everywhere else and couldn't get the information that you're giving us. We
Yeah.
really appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. Enjoyed talking to you, and I want to see the progress.